What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today we've got another live fantasy football mock draft for you back on ESPN with a 12-team full PPR mock where we will be selecting 9th overall. Should be pretty interesting. And while we wait for this draft to begin, a quick reminder, if you enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter X at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. Let us hear it in the comments, your thoughts, along with any other questions you guys might have. We will do our best to get back to you. But in the meantime, look, this draft has officially started. We've got, for the most part, a full draft lobby. So hoping, there's not too much craziness here. And, it's relatively accurate in terms of the selections. And we're picking 9th overall, so close towards the end. Honestly, I don't have a set strategy here. I'm picking towards the end of the first round. I think just best case, we'll let the draft come to us and see what happens. I don't think I'm going to really have to reach for anyone in the first 2 rounds, but let's see. As always, it gets more interesting in the 3rd, 4th rounds, so on and so forth. The first 2 picks are pretty chalk: Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson. Saquon Barkley going a little bit earlier here, 3rd overall. Then Justin Jefferson, 4th overall. So, Jahmyr Gibbs. So the first 3 out of the first 5 picks were running backs. You can say 4 out of the first 6 now, as Christian McCaffrey was selected. Let me show you the big board here in regards to the selection. So it was Chase, Bijan, Saquon, JJ, Jahmyr Gibbs, McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, and Puka Nacua. So we are on the clock now. We can go a number of different ways. I kind of want to land one of these wide receivers that I'm a fan of. So let's go with Malik Nabers, and then I will see what's available for us in the 2nd round. I think that we can land a Derrick Henry. We can land a, Achane or a Jonathan Taylor. So I think we'll be okay. Like, worst case scenario, I guess there's 6 picks until our next selection. It's Genty, Brown, Achane, Jonathan Taylor, Nico Collins, and Derrick Henry, all in that exact order. And, I mean, that's a possibility if we get a lot of, auto picks. So I'm not ruling that out, but we'll see. It just takes one player to take somebody not in this group of, next 5 best available. Amon-Ra just went, Ashton Genty just went. So, it is what it is. If I had to look at the guys that are not in that group, probably wait on Jacobs, Bucky Irving in this group of running backs. Wide receivers, I'd be all right going with Brian Thomas, honestly. Maybe an A.J. Brown, we'll see. We did obviously end up taking a wide receiver first, so if we went with another wide receiver, it would be a little bit of a heavier wide receiver build compared to some of our other mocks, but sometimes that's how it turns out, so I'm not really all that worried. Let's see here. It'll be either Jonathan Taylor or Brian Thomas, and I will take whoever is left on the board. Brian Thomas actually got selected, which, that's fine for me. If you look at it objectively, I think that we probably needed a running back more. Helps balance out the squad, so I'll go Jonathan Taylor. Let's add him to the squad. He was great to finish out the season last year. I think he's very talented. It's just a matter of how that offense gets going with the quarterback situation. So just kind of going back to the first round, if we had done things differently, maybe if we had gone a running back here first, so maybe like a Genty or an Achane or whatever, right? Maybe we could have had a Brian Thomas fall to us. If not, though, we would have been looking at guys like A.J. Brown, Drake London. So not the end of the world. Or maybe we would have ended up with like Jonathan Taylor and an Achane. So I think all in all, like pretty balanced start to this draft. Nothing super wacky yet, nothing super weird. So I'm glad that that's the case and that we don't have to like restart this mock draft because you see, 5 quarterbacks being selected in the first 2 rounds or something crazy like that. James Cook going a lot earlier than I was expecting. I wouldn't be taking James Cook ahead of Kyron Williams. Definitely not ahead of Chase Brown. Like, Chase Brown is ranked way too low on the ESPN big board, in my opinion. Granted, I am higher on him than most, but still, huge run on running backs here after we went Jonathan Taylor, right? Bucky, Jacobs, James Cook, then A.J. Brown, then Kyron Williams. Tyreek, Drake London going after Tyreek is something. Like, look, I understand that Tyreek is still a huge name, right? But, man, you sure saw the signs last year. Oh, yeah, and I told you Chase Brown wasn't going to – he was ranked way too low. Like, somebody that was a savvy drafter was going to scoop him up immediately. And also for what it's worth, I see a world where Chase Brown outproduces Jonathan Taylor. But we're playing the mind games here to some extent. It's like, all right, you take on the chance of taking Jonathan Taylor. Maybe there's an opportunity to also get Chase Brown in the third, but it's a risk, right? Risk versus reward. And this person, I mean, to be fair, they're picking second overall, right? Like, you got to reach a little bit on players more so than other squads. So that's always kind of the tricky thing with the extremes, but to some extent it can make drafting a little bit easier. But so far in the third round, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, Josh Allen, Lamar, Trey McBride. McBride, if he fell to us, would have been a great value. DJ Moore. Oh, am I seeing this correctly that Brock Bowers is still there for us? No. That can't be the case, right? Yeah, okay, no. I was going crazy. So I think Devontae Adams here, Kenneth Walker, running backs. Yeah, let's go Devontae Adams. We're going to go Devontae Adams. Maybe I can scoop up Marvin Harrison in the next round. Where did Brock Bowers go? Why am I not seeing this? Where is Brock Bowers? Oh, okay, here we go. He was the last pick in the second round. I don't know how I missed that. But yeah, Brock Bowers, last pick in the second. Trey McBride here in the middle of the third. Then it was DJ, Joe Mixon, Devontae Adams was our selection. Kenneth Walker, Jaden Daniels. And we get to pick another guy 3 more selections from now. Alvin Kamara just went. Rashee Rice, Terry McLaurin. Looks like we'll have a chance at Marvin Harrison potentially. Running backs, I don't want Breece Hall at this point in time. He makes me nervous as hell. That feels like a committee. I don't know, though. I don't know. I'm going to go true with the wide receivers that I believe in. I'm going to go with Marvin Harrison. Let's see what happens at running back. If we do a quote-unquote hero running back, I don't know if Jonathan Taylor is hero enough to support hero running back, but I guess we'll find out. So we went Marvin Harrison. Yes, that means we passed up on Jalen Hurts, but hey, look, right now, 3 wide receivers that I feel pretty good about. So, I mean, we've got our flex position taken care of. There goes Chuba Hubbard, another running back that I was hoping might get back to us. But, yeah, man, those I don't want to call Chuba Hubbard like an upper echelon, but those running backs that are like worst-case running back 2s, they're getting scooped up quickly in this mock. Like, there's not going to be really anyone left come the 5th round. O'Marion Hampton, Breece Hall. I guess Breece Hall, you could argue at that point, is maybe a value. Joe Burrow, Mike Evans. Yeah, there goes James Conner, too. He was kind of the last guy. There's R.J. Harvey, but I don't think Harvey is going to make it back to us the way this thing is going. And honestly, like, maybe I go David Montgomery ahead of R.J. Harvey. Let's see if there's anything weird with these running back rankings here. So, Harvey, Judkins, Monty, DeAndre Swift. I'm hoping I can get one of those guys, but let's see. Let us see what this mock draft has in store for us. So yeah, I mean, ideally, I would have. Let's see if there's anything we could have done super differently in order to nab, a running back that we really liked. I mean, I guess instead of Devontae, we could have gotten a Kenneth Walker or an Alvin Kamara. Instead of Marvin Harrison, we could have gone Chuba, but I mean, I feel like the value is better for Marvin Harrison. I do. All right, we're on the clock here in one more selection. I feel like I gotta go David Montgomery. Never mind. I was gonna say he feels a little bit safer than R.J. Harvey, but look, I've been pounding the drum about R.J. Harvey. We got a chance to take him here. I'm gonna go ahead and do so. He's our running back too. Ideally, I would have liked it for him to, be like a flex guy where we don't have to rely so much on a rookie right out of the gate. But, we'll add some more guys here that can hopefully fill in if an RJ Harvey struggles. So, tight end, I mean, I know Sam Laporta is there, which seems like good value, but I kind of want to continue to address the running back position. There goes Laporta, so we don't even have to sweat that anymore. So after we went Harvey, it was Xavier Worthy, Devonta Smith, Jameson Williams, Laporta, Jalen Waddle, Travion Henderson. I mean, DeAndre Swift is still there. Odunze's there, another guy that I like, but I feel much better about my wide receivers than I do my running backs. Welcome to the squad, DeAndre Swift, I guess. I think he can have a bounce back season, if you will, with Ben Johnson over there. I do think, like, some people are calling Roshan Johnson the better value and, like, a potential league winner in the late rounds. I don't disagree with that. But I do think DeAndre Swift is going to be given the opportunity to kind of kick things off. And, like, from a PPR perspective, I still think that he's going to get a lot of dink and dump passes. So it could be worse, right? And again, if RJ Harvey ends up being what I'm hoping he can be and what a lot of people believe him to be, then we're not too bad. But right now, like, this is my problem when I start a little bit more wide receiver heavy, and why I tend to prefer to go with probably running backs 2 out of the first 3 rounds. I think that there's a big drop off. I think especially in this mock draft, but just in general, like after the first 3.5, 4 rounds, if you don't have at least 2 running backs, I think you're going to have a big drop off at that position. The quality, starts to go pretty quickly. Wide receiver has always been deeper, pretty much no matter what year you look at. And sure, maybe there's more running backs that might kind of come out of nowhere, but it's harder to hit on those guys, I would argue. Rome Odunze is still there for us. Calvin Ridley, I think those guys are still good values. Tight end, quarterback, we still need guys there. Kyler Murray's still on the board. I think we can get him in the next round. But here, Odunze is the best value in my opinion. Like, I was considering him in the last round, so yeah, it's easy for me. I think Tyrone Tracy, I was about to mention Brian Robinson is a sneaky play, but Brian Robinson just got drafted. Chris Godwin, pretty damn low on these rankings, but maybe we show him some love and take him here in the next round, and then we just queue up some quarterbacks and some tight ends. Jalen Warren just went. So, I mean, just looking at the running backs, Javonte Williams, I feel like that Dallas job could go a number of different directions. I don't agree that Scadaboo should be ranked ahead of Tyrone Tracy. Like, I feel like Tyrone Tracy is going to get the first shot at winning that job. And sure, I know he had some fumbling issues towards the end of last year, but he showed, I think, some pretty good potential. So, and maybe he could be a guy that's like a sell high candidate early on type of deal. I don't think that's too crazy. Godwin, like, come on now. but I think Godwin's the better value. I got to go Godwin. I think I have to go Godwin here. Yeah, I'm going to go Chris Godwin. But obviously Tyrone Tracy, very tempting. Right now, if I were to queue up players, Kyler Murray, queue him up. Let's see what tight ends we have. Okay, David Njoku went. Where did David Njoku go out of curiosity? He went end of the 6th round. So, yeah, we would have had to take him instead of DeAndre Swift. No, thank you. And Jordan Mason here is intriguing. Like, he's definitely just a stash pick, but I bet almost anything that Aaron Jones is going to get hurt at some point in time, and that Jordan Mason is going to be a solid, like, high-end RB2 during that point in time. Question is for how long it'll be, right? So Kyler Murray here, ideally we can land him. Okay, we've got people taking defenses, so we've gotten to that point in the draft. But only 7 more picks, and then we can kind of wrap this thing up. Our starters, Jonathan Taylor, R.J. Harvey, Malik Neighbors, Devontae Adams. Marvin Harrison is our flex, which I feel really good about. If you don't feel good about R.J. Harvey, we've got DeAndre Swift on our bench. And then some really strong wide receivers on the bench with Odunze and Chris Godwin. So the good thing is, like, right, in these situations, if you are weak at one position, another position can become a strength, right? So maybe we can leverage some of those wide receivers that we feel good about and kind of upgrade the running back position via a trade. So that's always something to consider. And Michael Pittman just went on the drafted. I'm taking Kyler Murray here. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine having taken Kyler Murray there. Get the little stack with him and Marvin Harrison. Tight end, just so I can round out the team. I'm going to preface it right now. This will be a reach, but for the sake of rounding out the squad and so you guys can see kind of the starting roster. John Smith did just get traded to Pittsburgh. You've got Freiermuth there, which, like, I don't really understand that trade, but it is what it is. Loveland, I'm not going to force that. Dalton Kincaid, kind of a bust last year, if you will. I think, honestly, like, out of all these guys, I probably feel best about Bren Strange or, like, Dallas Goedert. Like, it's going to look really bad. I'm telling you right now, it's going to look very, very bad, but I think Bren Strange is the tight end that I prefer out of all of these guys. And like, there's better options here, but like I said, for the sake of rounding out this roster, let's go with Strange. He's a tight end sleeper that I like. Really performed well last year while Evan Ingram was out. But yeah, overall, look, honestly, to be transparent, not my favorite draft that we've done. Very strong at wide receiver, so you've got the opportunity to make some upgrades. But hey, let me know your thoughts. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter, @AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys in future videos.